My brother has spoken, but there are certain things that must be corrected in this presentation. And I found out, even for the first time, quoting from Matthew chapter 5, verse number 17, in the earlier part of his presentation, I dealt with this in the morning, that Matthew 5:17 is not speaking about all biblical prophecies that have been fulfilled. It's limited to the messianic prophecies. So, Matthew 5:17 should not be used by preterists that this prophecy or this text is the fulfillment of all biblical prophecies, which is wrong. The second part that I would like to tackle is about the book of Revelation, especially the book of Revelation chapter 18. And then that is what humanity must understand here. We have a lot of things to do about the book of Revelation. But to tell you simply this evening, the book of Revelation is not literal. It is apocalyptic and it is symbolic or figurative. We have the four main divisions of apocalyptic literature. We have the use of symbols, you have the use of numbers, the use of colors, and the use of cryptic images. So if you don't understand this, and the Hebrew Gematria, a system of communication through the use of numbers, don't tackle the book of Revelation, because you will misinterpret the book. That is why I'm saying, even most especially, the book of Revelation chapter 1, about how the book is, chapter 2 and 3 about the seven churches, chapter 4 about the opening the vision, and the woman of Revelation chapter 17 being interpreted in Revelation chapter 18. This woman represents Rome. The woman sitting on the beast with the seven heads represent the seven kings that John met during his reign in AD 65 to AD 96. These kings were with the woman, and the woman represents the room. So, Revelation 17, verse 15. Revelation 17:15. It is not in a literal sense. So, the angels began to interpret the whole vision to John. And the angel said that the many waters represent the world. And this is what must be understood. According to Luke chapter 5, verse 10, Jesus used the sea as the world and the fishes as humanity. So, Revelation 17, verse 15.
Then he said to me, the waters which you saw where the harrow sits are people, multitude, nation, and tongue.
Good. So, what is the great city of Revelation 18? The great city to represent this same Rome. This same Rome. And who is the great harlot? This same Rome. In reference to Revelation 17. So it must be corrected here that the book of Revelation must not be taken literally. So linking the harlot to Sodom and Gomorrah, we will think about this, that was Jesus Christ crucified in Sodom and Gomorrah? No. The reference there was when Jesus Christ suffered in the Roman rule, and when he was crucified or persecuted and then crucified. But do not link that to the woman or the harlot. The woman or the harlot represent Rome in Revelation 17 and 18. This is something that we have to understand. Again, what I want us to understand here is about 2 Peter chapter 3. He made mention of 2 Peter chapter 3 in reference to the world that will come to end. And I want to tackle this. Before I tackle, you read chapter 3, verse number 5 to 7 and 10 to 13. 3, 5 to 7 and 10 to 13, I'm coming. So, that is what we have to understand, that the Bible was written with 3 different languages, Hebrew and Aramaic in the Old Testament, and then Greek or coin. The Greek word for coin is common Greek language in the New Testament. Though there are Aramic influences in the New Testament, but the New Testament was written solely with Koine Greek. And if you want to prove the authenticity of a word, of a text, of a chapter, you have to confirm from the old manuscripts, the Latin Vulgate, the Greek and the Hebrew Septuagint. So if he read 2 Peter 3 verse 10, I will use the Latin Vulgate to interpret for you to understand that it is not something figurative. It is literal being of this universe. It's not something figurative. So if you don't understand the concept, if you don't understand the Hebrew and the Greek terms used in the Bible, you will misinterpret some context, which you will take all things being literal, all things being figurative, but it must be rightly divided according to 2 Peter 2:15. So 2 Peter 3 verse 5 to 7 and verse number 10 to 13.
For this, they willfully forget that by the word of God, the heavens were of old, and the earth standing out of water and in the water.
Good. God is telling humanity about Genesis 1:8, when the earth and then the heavens were created. We have three main types of heavens. The first one is about the firmament heaven. The second one is about the starry heaven. And the third one is about the heavens of heavens or third heaven. And 2 Corinthians chapter 12 verse number 6, verse number 2, 2 Corinthians 12:2 says that Paul said he knows a man who was taken to the third heaven or the heavens of heaven. So we have heavens. The dwelling place of God, according to Ecclesiastes 5:2, cannot be destroyed and will never be destroyed. So the application of the heavens here is referring to the first heaven as the firmament, and then the second heaven where demons, according to Ephesians 6:12, live. So these heavens were created, and the earth, as we are living on, was created. But people forget that through water, these things came out. It is not something figurative. It's talking about this heaven and this earth. Continue.
By which the world that then existed perished.
This world existed, perished, through flooded in the Noah season. Continue.
By the heavens and the earth which are now.
Even during the season or the period of Noah in the flood, the whole heaven and earth was not destroyed, but God destroyed those living. Genesis chapter 6 verse 1 to 6. God said he will destroy the living, but he said, but now in the last days, this heaven and the earth, as we see, has been prepared for. Continue.
Are now preserved by the same way. Are reserved for fire until the day of judgment.
Are reserved for fire.
Until the day of judgment and perdition of ungodly men.
Good. So the prophecy about the ungodly men, the destruction of ungodly men, according to Matthew 25 verse 46. This same prophecy is about the destruction of this world after the judgment of the ungodly men. Continue for me. 10 to 13.
By the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens will pass away with a great noise.
So this first and second heaven will pass away with a great noise. Let me read from the Latin Vulgate. 2 Peter 3 verse 3 from the Latin Vulgate. Adveniens autem dies domini ut fe in quo sili magno impetu transcend elementa vero colerio solvento. In this reading, the word sili comes from the Latin word silum, which means from heavens or the heavens, in reference to the first and the second heaven. And this earth is what has been referred in this book, that the earth will be destroyed. If this earth will be destroyed and everything in it, verse 11, 2 Peter 3, verse 11.
Therefore, since all these things to draw, what manner of persons ought you to be?
If all these things would be destroyed, it should tell you something that no, you don't have to think like the way you are thinking now.